Om Shanti and a very good morning. As we prepare to listen to today's Murli, let's take a couple of moments to take off anything that may be on top of our minds. Let's orient ourselves with complete silence and stability. Today's Murli speaks about the two powers out of the eight powers, the power to discern and the power to judge. In today's Murli, Baba says how these two powers are the base to create the power of silence, the much needed power to make the required difference in the confluence age and to deal with situations and people around. Today's Murli is dated 13th November 1981, and the title is The Power of Silence is the Basis of the Powers to Discern and to Judge. Today, Baba is giving you the experience of nirvana, the stage beyond sound, which means the stage of being an embodiment of silence. The original religion, pure actions, original form, and original land of you souls are those of peace. Your special power of the confluence age is the power of silence. All of you confluence age souls have the aim of going to the sweet silence home. Your world needs the power of this eternal attribute of being an embodiment of peace and giving everyone peace. All problems can be solved with the power of silence. Why does Baba say that? Because when souls, the embodiments of peace, are in silence, they are in solitude and their power is always concentrated. they can then attain two special powers. One is the power to discern, and the other is the power to judge. These two special powers easily enable you to resolve all problems in your interactions with others and in doing God's work. They easily enable you to become a destroyer of obstacles on God's path. You have to discern what Maya is, and then, after that, judge what to do. You have to discern what Maya is, and then, after that, judge what to do. Because of Maya's various forms, you are unable to recognize her from a distance and chase her away. Maya comes in a divine and royal form to the children who are following God's path. In order to recognize this form of Maya, you need to develop your power of concentration. Only when you develop the power of silence can you attain the power of concentration. Because that is the time when you are in solitude, you are stable, and you are able to see things clearly. At present, you Brahmin souls are lacking in fast transformation because you consider a rolled gold, that is, a gold plated form of Maya, to be real gold. At present, you Brahmin souls are lacking in fast transformation because you consider a rolled gold form, that is gold plated, of Maya to be real gold. What we see on the outside is what we get enticed by. That is what Baba means to say, that we start believing that as the truth. And because of not being able to recognize her, you say what I did and said was all right. And you ask, what have I done wrong? Or you come up with a justification that I have to continue in this way. Such is the impact of the gold plated Maya that even when you are wrong, you wouldn't consider yourself to be wrong. Everything or most of the things that you do them because you feel that that is right. What is the reason for this? The reason for this is because you lack the power to discern. We lack the power to have the ability to identify differences and recognize the truth. And that is how we get lured or enticed to recognize falsehoods or distortions. You consider a royal form of Maya to be real because of not having the power to discern, you are unable to make an accurate judgment. You're unable to judge whether you yourself have to change or whether the other person has to change. This is why the speed of transformation has to be fast, because time is now moving on very fast. However, there is the difference of day and night between the attainment you experience by transforming yourself according to the time and transforming yourself through your elevated thoughts. There is the difference of day and night between the attainment you experience by transforming yourself according to the time and transforming yourself through your elevated thoughts. Ways to have transformation happen through elevated thoughts is through the power of silence. It is the same with the cars that people drive. One car has a self starter and other needs a push to start it. So there is a difference between the two. To transform yourself by being pushed by time means that your car of effort can only move forward with a push. An external force or pressure is what will make your car move. It means that you are not driving, but that you are being driven. Transform yourself on the basis of time means to attain only a small share of benefit. One is the owner and the other is a shareholder. So the difference that Baba said, transforming yourself according to the time is like you being the shareholder, and transforming yourself through your elevated thoughts means you are the owner. The owner has all rights and the other just receives a drop. What is the reason for that? The reason is that there is no experience of the power of silence. When you have the power of silence, you can develop the power to discern and the power to judge. These powers will bring fast transformation. Do you understand how great the power of silence is? The power of silence cools down the fire of anger. The power of silence can finish all upheaval of waste thoughts. No matter what your old sanskars are like, the power of silence can finish them all. The power of silence can easily finish any sickness in the mind. The power of silence can enable many souls to experience a meeting with the Father, the ocean of peace. The power of silence can enable the souls who have been wandering around for many births to experience the destination. It makes you into a great soul that is Mahatma, a righteous soul that is Dharmatma. The power of silence enables you to tour all three worlds in a second. Do you understand how great this power is? The power of silence enables you to labor less and achieve greater glory with less expenditure. The power of silence enables you to labor less and achieve greater glory with less expenditure. The power of silence enables you to be economical with the treasures of your thoughts. This means that you can attain greater success in less time. The power of silence changes cries of distress into cries of victory. The power of silence enables you to be constantly garlanded with the garland of success. There have been the cries of victory, and you are garlanded. So, what else remains? Everything has been accomplished. So, did you hear how great you are? Only that Baba says you don't use this great power enough. You know how to shoot an arrow with words, and Maya attacks, and we feel the need to be right and to prove the other person wrong. Something gets triggered in us, and then we use sharp words to make our ego win. That's why Baba says, you know how to shoot an arrow with words. So now, shoot arrows of silence through which you can make greenery appear even in the desert. No matter how hard mountain rocks may be, water can be made to emerge from them. The power of silence has the power to have पत्थर से पानी निकालना. Now, use the power of silence in a practical way. Why does this land of Madhuban attract you all? Because you experience silence here, do you not? Therefore, make all your service centers and all your homes and families everywhere into the same Shanti Kund, which is a place with a peaceful atmosphere. Then the rays of peace will attract all souls around the world to the experience of peace. Make all your service centers and all the homes and families everywhere into the same Shanti Kund, where you can create a place with a peaceful atmosphere. And when you do that, the rays of peace will attract all souls around the world to the experience of peace. The peace becomes like a magnet. The time will come when all your centers become peace magnets. You will not have to go anywhere, but people will come to you. However, this will only happen when you all have the great power of silence. Only when you have this power in your thoughts, words, and deeds constantly, only when you have this power in your thoughts, words, and deeds constantly, only then can you become a master bestower of peace. So Baba asks, now, do you understand what you now have to do? So we'll take a break here and we'll continue the rest of the Murli tomorrow. Let's take a couple of moments in silence and reflect on what we are getting out of this Murli. Okay, You can unmute yourself and be ready to share.
Shanti. Um, Very nice, Murli. Baba emphasized the importance of silence, and Baba says, we have to develop this practice of going into silence because our power of silence can, give us the power of concentration, which is, very much important because when we have this concentration, only then we get the powers. And the problem that Baba sees is we are unable to discriminate the Maya, the royal form of Maya. So that because we lack concentration, because we lack the silence power. So Baba would like to see us, giving importance to silence power. So through that silence power, most of our roads and scars, wandering soul, sick of the mind, right? All this, these are cleared, right? And that's the power of silence. We can even experience Baba's meeting with Baba. So everything is on the basis of power of silence. So Baba wants us to use this power. So yeah, this is the takeaway from is to see wherever I can give a pause and then experience that sweetness of silence, right? Um, I would I will do that. That's the takeaway from the practice for the day. Thank you, Shanti.
Yes, Vijit Bhai. Practicing the power of silence, not only of speech, but also of thoughts, how it helps us stabilize ourselves, how it helps us from becoming chanchal to achal, adol, where you're stable, you are in tranquility, you get to maintain your equilibrium to actually let the answers come to you. Thank you, Vijit Bhai.
Om Shanti.
Yes, Sanjay Bhai.
We all belong to the world of silence. We have come from the world of silence. Silence के देश से आए हैं. Silence के वासी हैं. We are native of silence. And we are basically embodiment of silence that we have to become. When Baba says, my dear child, you have to be in silence, that is different from what that our Lokik teacher used to tell us in our class, remain silence. That silence and what Baba says silence is very, very different. The silence which was asked to us in our Lokik teacher in Lokik class, where the teacher used to say silence means silence from outside. That is no vacha. No vacha. But when Baba talks about silence, the first letter of S itself exhibits the first chapter of Rajyoga that Baba tells, you are a soul, you are a peaceful soul. That is the information which Baba gives us. And by understanding it and doing manthan, we have to be in the state of silence. That is, we have to be soul conscious. And when we are soul conscious state, we are connected to Baba. And when we are connected to Baba, we are connected to the silence world. So Baba says, be in soul conscious. When we are soul conscious, that means from body conscious to soul conscious. Body conscious is full of disturbance. And as we move to body conscious to soul conscious, the disturbance and this disturbance minimizes. And when we actually become soul conscious, the disturbance that is mansa vacha karmana becomes same, and that is a state of no noise, a state of silence. For that, the first we have to be soul conscious, and another letter I stands for inward journey from Baya Mukta to Anta Mukta. That inward journey, that introspection will definitely helps us to move in that silence zone. What Baba tells, another letter L, that means by being soul conscious and being in and from Baya Mukta to Anta Mukta, that is inward journey, we reach to a state that is we are lovely. L is lovely with Baba. L is lawful and loveful. We have to follow the Srimad line by line, word by word, and we have to be lawful and loveful. E, that is embodiment of knowledge. And Baba says that you have to have Narayana Shah, and in that process, you reach to a state of Nirakari, Nirvikari, Nirahankari, what the state of Brahma Baba was in his last stage. And C, after and the letter C comes, the C tells you have to be very, very careful because Maya ताक में रहती है कब आपको अटैक कर दे. Anybody, anytime Maya can attack you. You have to be cheerful also, you have to be calm also, and you have to be careful also. And the last letter E, you will excel from this world. That means by doing the purushartha of being silence, inward journey, lawful, loveful, embodiment of knowledge, nirakari, nirvikari, nirahankari, cheerful, careful, you will excel from this world of sound and you reach to the world of, you attain this real state of silence and you reach to the silence world and you really become silence, what that Baba means. So silence is not a word, silence is not lack of sound, but the silence is that what Baba does, starting from soul conscious to exit from the world of sound and reach to the world of silence. That is silence outside and silence within. Om Shanti.
Very well put, Sanjay Bhai. Who else?
Good morning, brother. Om Shanti. Baba has put it in a very lucid manner. Otherwise, like, it's more than clear actually. In a gathering, when we sit in silence, we do understand what is happening there. I find the words talk one way, and the gathering, the whole environment also speaks. So, and within us is a layer of registration and comprehension. We understand what is happening, but then to have a positive noise inside us, the positive way of thinking is what we are working and through Raj Yoga. Once we are successful in that, be whatever the sound tells us, we would be able to comprehend it in a positive way and take it forward. So, in a way, Baba tells that silence within us only empowers us to understand ourselves better, and whatever happens outside is outside. It is going to be transformed later. I would like to take this in this way. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Yes, brother. Usually, when something gets triggered inside us, is when we use the power of language to describe or just to emphasize, to put our point across assertively, which may cause frictions. So at that time, we all must have experienced in our Lokik life or professional life that uh, everyone is talking, but no one is listening. This angle or approach, which Baba has spoken about in today's Murli, is to actually orient yourself as the source to make the required difference, to make the required transformation around with the power of silence, where we feel speaking is necessary. And if I don't speak, it will not happen. But in which is true, we all of us are speaking right now. But when we are not present or aware, we don't know when the gold-plated Maya would come, making us feel that whatever we are talking, it's not gold-plated, but it's gold. That is the illusion Maya gives. So when we all take on the practice of silence, of withdrawing from the situation, from that condition, work on reflections. I've practically experienced when I sit for meditation, or even when in a group of people, uh, there's some conversation happening. Whenever I have practiced to operate from silence, I've seen that I have not got to reach out for answers. The answers I've reached out shown up on their own. So, very rightly, you put across your perspective about the world of silence. Thank you, brother. Yes, Girjaben. Anyone else? Srinivas Bhai.
Brother Om Shanti again. I was also wondering, usually in this talkative world, um, people who are silent are considered to be weak or dumb. They are not recognized much, but the perspective that Baba gives with the title itself, that we develop a power to discriminate and judge through silence, is actually again empowering. When,
Mm,
when silent people are not just actually silent, they're actually very powerful that way. So that's what I carry as a affirmation. Yeah,
yeah.
Shanti.
Yes, the world will see it the other way because the souls don't have the immunity to see it into a transformational perspective. And that's why they consider it maybe as someone's weakness or someone being timid or not having a say in the matter, but silence actually speaks a lot. And
Just to
not
add
only,
here, sorry.
yeah,
Yeah, so
yes,
the outside world, right? So when we see there are people who do not speak much, but yeah, they experience silence, but we cannot really be sure that they are experiencing silence because silence, from Baba's the way of saying about silence is that we experience the inner world, right? There are no conflicts, inner conflicts, no thoughts, in the sense, no, see, the person might be silent um, outwardly, okay, he may not be talking, or but at the same time, that doesn't mean inside he's silent, right? So silence is powerful when we are connected or associated with our original qualities, right? So solitude is different from uh, the silence or the company that we are with the God, right? So what we need to check is what is the inner world? What is it happening in me, right? The thoughts that are have generated, are they elevated thoughts? Are they charging me inside? So I think that's what is more of this silence means, right? Than we taking us to a nil stage or an empty stage, or creating waste or unwanted thoughts, though we are not speaking out in the form of words, right? Yeah, so I think that's what is more of silence. This silence is experiencing the world beyond. But again, it needs some amount of thoughts, right, to get there and experience. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
that's a very valid perspective that you put across, Bijit Bhai, where you said that, yeah, a connect with the Supreme, the silence coming with if you're plugged and the switch of that spiritual connect is on, then the silence will serve the situation. Otherwise, it will be taken in some other way. All right.
Shanti, brother.
Yes, Girjavan.
I was just listening to it. Wasn't quite well. Silence and solitude. I think I always like that they go together. And as somebody rightly said, in I remember the earlier stages when we used to learn about the steps of Rajyoga meditation, and in that there was a point called as the upward journey. And in there, they used to it was there. It is only in the upward journey, the fuel may be powerful and positive thoughts, but silence is needed to lift, to go up, to take off is what is needed. But is that the right thing? Because when they take off, what is the role of silence over there, especially in connection? Where does silence come in connection to the Supreme as law? When somebody was talking about connecting to the Supreme as silence is a good thing. Where is the relation I wanted to know in connection to the Supreme? Because how does silence come over there? Already we are in a silence, land of silence. So how does it help you in connecting to the Supreme? Just the thoughts, or what is the relevant you could add in this?
I would look at it the other way, that when you connect to the Supreme, is when you experience silence, uh, solitude, like how Baba has mentioned, and we've also been uh, speaking about it. When there is a connect with the Supreme, then the silence is solitude. It happens in a space of elevation. But without the connect, that same silence will lead to loneliness, which is depleting. So, uh, to look at the other way, when you just stabilize yourself, focus yourself inward, having the connect between you and the Supreme. And as you start doing that, whatever upheavals are there, or whatever might be going on around, the impact of that on our mind, on our body, in our sanskars, everything suddenly starts to come to a level of stability. But yes, consistency of having the connect and the patience that one would have to continue to be in that stage is something that could allow silence to be there for a prolonged time and then create a space of causing transformation first within our own self and then to others.
So you're saying that after connection of the Supreme, we experience silence because that is bliss. Because before connecting to the Supreme is what I thought, one needs silence, the pre thing. But are you saying that it's after connecting to the Supreme, we experience silence? Is that what you shared now, brother?
I, it is more like what came first. Was it the hen or the egg? It is more like you just settling yourself. I mean, it is either ways. You're sitting and then orienting yourself to silence, or being silent and then orienting yourself to sit. Either ways. It might be different approaches for different souls.
Yeah, I think even I will try to do both things and see. One is before media connection and after connection and all. But always Baba mentions, it's not here, Baba mentions in silence, great inventions are done. So, and Baba loves silence and he relates it to the scientists who, how in the lab, in the experiment and all before inventions are made. That's the connection Baptada always mentions in the Murlis.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yeah, and
Okay.
certain things, Girjaben, are more experiential rather than explanatory, which no matter how much we discuss or talk about it, it's just practicing that and creating that experience for yourself, which again might be unique and different for different souls.
Om Shanti.
Yeah, Sanjay bhai.
See, just when we use radio, what happens when you have to hear anything from BBC London? We put the frequency of radio to BBC London, and when it connects, everything what is going on in BBC London, we can hear it, we can experience it. That means we are connected. That means we are getting all the inputs. So as we discussed earlier, that when we become soul conscious, we become, we start, our journey becomes different. Our journey was initially dhara. Dhara means moving outside, moving downwards. Then the journey became inwards, opposite of dhara, radha. Uh, the dhara becomes radha, and then everything, we become lawful, loveful, embodiment of knowledge, nirakari. See, the starting with soul conscious, we are getting connected to Baba. And when we are connected to Baba, our outward journey became inward journey. Everything started transforming. As we become soul conscious, connected to Baba, everything got transformed. Outward got transformed into inward, and everything started changing as it was at the Satyug stage, that is Yathartha stage. And then in that process, when we come in embodiment of knowledge, and later we exit from the world of noise to world of silence, from a world of negativity to world of positivity. There it starts with soul conscious getting connected, and then the transformation takes place, and then it ends with moving out from this world of noise. That 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 actually is Baba talking about that silence. So we have to get connected to Baba, and then it starts. See, when the AC you put on, it takes some time to get to give coolness. So soul conscious, and then the all the process of inward journey, lawful, loveful, and in that process you start the cooling. That the cooling process. That means the process of that is the process of silence. And in that overall process, Baba talks this overall process at the process of silence, at the process of Purushar, and at the end, we reach to our Yathartha state. That means our state is body conscious, that we are Kalahin. And Baba talks about that state, that Yathartha state, that original state, what we were actually. Om Shanti. I hope I have made it clear.
All right, so it's 5:56. Let's take a couple of moments to complete today's session with practicing silence as we orient ourselves to start the day. We look at how automatically thoughts keep on whizzing in our minds at a very high speed. We look at how at times we may become unsettled because of the chaos and the ruckus that is getting created in our minds. Let's take today's learnings into practice by reflecting inward, and especially today, practice minimal use of spoken words. Before I speak out, I ask myself, is it necessary for me to speak? Is it going to make a difference? Is there any other way that I can deal with this? In those few moments of silence, you activate your power to discern and your power to judge, not becoming judgmental, but actually constructively, productively, effectively judge. First practice is to slow down the need to speak. And the second practice is to slow down consciously on the number of thoughts, relating to yourself as an instrument of the divine, that you are here in this birth, in this confluence age, on this planet, to make a difference, to make a transformational difference. Let today's day be a day of divine experiences, a day where we are not driven, but we are driving through the process. We are driving through what's showing up, which otherwise we would have dealt through the gold plated approach of Maya, making us believe that it is gold. Actually, realizing that the real gold is silence. I wish everyone a spiritually silent day. Om Shanti. We connect again at 5 a.m. tomorrow.